Hey everybody, it's Gladys back here once again, and welcome to episode 13 of This Is Bullshit. Basically, the series is just me doing exactly that. It's bullshitting, it's telling you stories from my real life, it's telling you random shit that I'm up to, what's going on with the channel, etc., etc. So, let me tell you about my day yesterday. As a lot of you may know, I actually do have a baker background, where the name came from, and I'm an assistant bakery manager. And okay, so I had to deliver a wedding cake yesterday, about 15 minutes away from my place of employment. And I get it there. It's a two-tier cake. So I've got a 12-inch cake as my bottom tier and an 8-inch cake as my top tier. So I bring in the bottom one in a big box, set it up on the table. Okay, it's fine. Transportation was great, no problem. I go in my car to get the second tier. And this thing had fallen, like slid, okay? The cake broke. It slid off of, like, the bottom inch and just fell against the side of the box. So the cake was destroyed. So I had to rush back to my place. I had to have the wedding, or the wedding was at 6:30, and it was like 5:15, 5:20 by the time that I got back to my job. So I had to make an entire new top for the cake and bring it back there before 6:30, or the wedding wasn't going to happen. And I was like super stressing. My hands were shaking at that point in time, but I was like, okay, I can do this. The design isn't that bad, and I've done this before. So I get it done. I bring it to the place, and when I was there the first time, I brought with me a letter. It was a topper that was supposed to go on the cake. It was, or on the cake. It was a cursive capital G, and I left it on the table next to the bottom tier. And I went back to my store to make the new cake, and I come back and I say, "Hey, where's the letter that I left on the table here?" And they go, "There's no letter. What are you talking about? There was nothing on the table." Okay, well, this is beyond my control now. I was like, just sign the paper that I delivered it, and I'm gonna go home. So on my way back, it's really bothering me because I was like, I know I brought this thing. I didn't leave it in my car. I didn't take it back to work with me. I know it's here somewhere, but let me check my car anyways. So I'm on my way back, and I'm at a stoplight, and I've got like 4 cars parked in front of me, and I'm fully stopped. Okay, like I'm just sitting there waiting for the light, and I'm looking around in my passenger seat, in my back seat, like underneath maybe to check, like maybe I just left it here. So my foot slides off the brake, and I end up tapping the car right in front of me. I mean, just like the smallest amount of force that you could ever hit a car with. That's what I did. So it was really just like a love tap. And of course, it's a brand new Mercedes. So this Indian woman gets out of the car, throwing her hands in the air, flailing and screaming, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You know, my foot just slipped off the brake. I'm really sorry. I'm looking at the car and I don't see any damage done, so I'm like, I'm already kind of relieved, but I'm still really stressed. And the first thing that she says to me, and she's about 2 feet shorter than I am, she walks up and gets almost in my face and goes, "Are you high?" And I'm like, "No, I mean, my foot slipped off the brake. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, we were completely stopped. I was looking for something in my car, and my foot slipped." And so she's like, "Do you know how to drive? Are you high?" And she's just like saying these things to me, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, really? You think that just because I tapped you that I've got to be messed up on some type of drug? Like, come on, lady." Um, so she ends up searching for like 10 minutes, like in the middle of traffic, mind you. Like, we're stopped and we're doing nothing but looking at this car. So she is like picking out all these points on the back of the car, like, you did this and you did this. So I'm rubbing at them with my finger. No, that's just dust. I didn't do that. Sorry to disappoint you. And there's nothing wrong with the car. She eventually, after 10 minutes of searching, finds the smallest point ever. It is like the tip of a pen, okay? It's that small. And it's a little speck of white. Her car was dark blue and mine is white. So she goes, "You did that. I want your insurance information." So I'm like, "God damn it." Okay. So I give her my information. Um, and then I pull out my insurance card. Lo and behold, my day can get worse. Apparently, it expired last September. Now, I'm still paying insurance, so I am insured. I know I'm insured. I don't know why I didn't get a new card. It just happened, okay? I have no explanation for why. But I'm still insured, and I told her, I was like, "Listen, call the information, or call my insurance. You have my information. I exist, I assure you. So when you call and ask, they will know who I am. I really do have insurance. So anyways, I forgot to take a picture of it, and it was just, I had the worst day ever. So, finally, got that off my chest. Okay, so back into some more positive news. The live stream events that we've been doing have been excellent. So good, in fact, that when I put a post up saying that we're live streaming, and then I try to start in the server and everything, it fills up within a matter of minutes, and we're actually getting like the heavy hitters in of Reddit, because it always feels like, okay, let's live stream. I feel like we're gonna play with some random people, maybe some people from YouTube, or you know, friends of ours from the Facebook page, whatever. And every time it happens, we get in there, and I just get raffle stomped the whole time, and then I feel like shit about myself, because I'm like, you know, I do this for the community. I want, you know, to play with a bunch of people that I normally don't, but maybe, you know, some fans of the videos or whatever, people that know me from Reddit. You know, like, I don't get to play with a lot of you very often, so that's the chance. So I really wasn't expecting the caliber of players that you guys are. And maybe that's just, you know, me having too much of an ego in my skills, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what factor caused that, but you guys always destroy me on the live streams, and it's like, it's so painful. I can't stand it. I'm still gonna do them. Obviously, it's gonna be all the same stuff. I'm not really putting any rules out there other than JR. He can't use any vehicles, and he has to walk backwards because he's just too goddamn good, and I can't stand it. So other than that, the rest of you guys, we have a lot of fun when we get on the live streams. If you guys haven't been in there before, basically, it's just me. I put a post up saying, hey, we're going to be live streaming. I'll give you the details when it happens. And then when we finally get in a server, I let everybody know, and you all just hop in. And then we just have like a full Reddit game. So it's very fun. We get a lot of people in there, and a lot of good things going on. We get a lot of really, really good games, because like I said, you guys there are some very skilled players out there, and I can't compete whenever we do the live streams. I just really can't. I'm also just now recovering from getting sick. That's why I haven't had a video for a while, so you guys will have to pardon me for that, because I had some type of like sinus infection, I think, and I'm still coming off of it, so I might sound a little weird in this video, but it was awful. Like, I felt so gross just for days. Like, my nose was leaking. It felt like, okay, I was so congested. Let me put it to you this way. Let me give you how I kind of felt, okay? I was so congested that my nose, it felt like I had to take a shit out of my nostrils. Like, I was so stuffed up that it was like when your pipes get clogged and you just can't do it, okay? Like, that's what it feels like in my nose. And I took some Robitussin, and when I say some, I mean about 3/4 of the bottle through a 1-day period. And then I started taking Mucinex, and oh my god, that stuff is just liquid gold. It tastes fucking terrible, but it works wonders, and I was finally able to breathe, and it was great. So I'm now coming off of it, and I'm feeling much better. Also, kind of cool news for me. I don't know how many of you guys keep up. Probably a lot of you keep up with Reddit, but the PS4 BF4 and PS3 BF4. I had to make sure I get those right. Those subreddits are in the infancy stages of development right now, and I was actually just approved to be a moderator of both of those, so that's going to be very cool. And I have no illusions as to what my role is going to be. I haven't really talked to the other mods that much yet, but I'm pretty sure that I'm just going to be like the mascot, or like my role is going to be just community involvement. You know, like that's what I kind of volunteered for. So I'm hoping that, you know, we can get some events going there, maybe have some prizes for some events every once in a while. We're obviously going to be doing a lot of drinking. With me being a moderator, that's just the fact of the matter, okay? That's what's going to happen. So there's going to be alcohol everywhere. But we're going to have a lot of fun, and it's hopefully going to be very cool. I'm going to be very active in those subreddits as well, but I will be getting the PlayStation 4 and Battlefield 4. It's just a matter of time, really. It's going to be either on release or shortly thereafter. and that's when I'll be playing. So I'm almost sure that I'm not going to get Battlefield 4 for PlayStation 3 because one, I'm going to have a new console and I'm going to have that set up in my living room, which means my wife is going to take the PS3 into the bedroom so she can do Netflix and stuff like that. So I'm probably not going to be playing PS3 once I get my PS4. At least like the majority of it. Like I'm gonna get some new games and play that, and hopefully there's a lot of good content on release. It looks like there will be. So I'm pretty much gonna be making the transition from PS3 to PS4, and that's gonna happen, like I said, either on release or soon thereafter. But anyways, for the modding, for the community and stuff like that on Reddit, like I said, I'm going to try to be as active as I can, be as helpful, and hopefully, like I said, get some events going, and I'll maybe even sponsor some prizes, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be good, so I look forward to seeing you all over there and interacting with you all in that capacity. Also, very happy, I just filled up my third movie library, like little section, and I'm trying to flesh out my horror collection right now because I feel like it's sadly lacking. And I am a horror aficionado. I love scary movies. I love gore, all that stuff. I'm a gorehound completely. So I feel like my library doesn't really tell that kind of a story. There's a lot of stuff in there. Like I've got all 9 seasons of Dragon Ball Z, but I don't have all of the movies that I want, and I think I'm somewhere around like 500 movies right now, and maybe 100 of those are Blu-rays right now. But my horror section has maybe 100, 150 movies, and that is so sad to me because I feel like it should be much more. Like with how much I talk about horror movies and I recommend stuff to people and like I went on a month-long quest to find the goriest movie ever made, which at that particular time it was Dead Alive, or also called Brain Dead, from Peter Jackson. That was the goriest movie ever made up until the remake of The Evil Dead this year. So just here a couple months ago, or a month ago rather. So up until then, that was the movie, and now Evil Dead, the remake, has surpassed it. It used 50,000 gallons of fake blood, and there was only 5 people in the cabin, so I don't know how that math works exactly, but it's it's definitely a gore fest. So that surpassed it as number one. But I've got a couple gems, and I've got a lot of the series movies. Like I almost finished my Halloween collection now. I've got a lot of the Friday the 13th. For some reason, Nightmare on Elm Street has been missing from my collection, and I just kind of prioritize other things above it. Like I'm getting those obscure movies out of the way. Like there's a French film called Martyrs that I really, really enjoy, and that's a fantastic movie. It's also like a higher level intellectual, like cerebral movie because there's a higher purpose. It's not just like Hostel where it's like torture porn or anything like that. Also, this movie called Cube. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that is fantastic. Again, that's one of those. It's an intellectual horror film because it's grander than just like, okay, to me, Saw or Hostel, they're good films, but it doesn't have like an overreaching intelligence to it. Like Saw, I think, was a little more so on that side, but because it was a design, and there's I don't know. It's kind of different to explain, but there's smart horror movies, and then there's your just run of the mill, what I call mainstream horror movies, and I don't like those as much. And as far as modern horror goes, I think it's fucking garbage. I think like the Paranormal Activity movies, probably the worst excuse for horror that you could ever see. I don't think those films should ever have been made. I don't think anyone should have bought tickets to go, and they should no longer be supported. As a society, we should just find all the copies of those and burn them. I think that they are just awful. So, anyways, off of that now, this gameplay you guys are watching, for those of you watching and not just listening, we were down by like 200 tickets on this sign crossing match, and we came back somehow. Like, I don't know what happened. I was complaining, like, as we're in there, I'm playing with Reign Supreme, and I'm like, God, man, our teammates are not doing anything. I really wish that we could find some people that would, like, contribute, Like, we had a guy, this guy on our teammate, Dot F81, I think his name is, if I'm reading it correctly from my screen. he was doing nothing. Like, he sat in a corner, and I couldn't even spawn on him because he had his ass right up against the wall, so I couldn't spawn in. But he just sat there. That was it. And then he would twitch every once in a while, so he didn't get the idle boot. But I don't know what he was doing. Whatever. Anyways, I have a joke that was told to me yesterday at work, and it was so awful that I have to relay this to you. I even guessed it, and I'm not really good at guessing like the punchlines of jokes. Okay, but this little girl, she comes up to me and she goes, and she wanted a cookie too. She was like, "Can I have a cookie?" Sure, you can have a cookie. Which one would you like? Sprinkle. Okay. So I don't know how it came up, but she was like, "What's the hardest part of skydiving?" And I took like a second and a half, maybe, and I was like, the ground. She had this disappointed look on her face because I just stole her thunder. And like this little girl, and I'm like, oh god, did I really just do that? Like I just shit all over this little girl's joke. And I was like, right? And she goes, yeah. I said, oh, I've heard it. That's very funny though. Yeah, yeah. I tried to play it off, but I was like, no, I just fucking guessed that. It's a terrible joke. You should never say that again, like for the rest of your adult life. It felt kind of mean, but I was a little satisfied. I was a little proud that I got it because I normally don't. So that was pretty funny. Anyways, like I said, when I was sick and I've been able to play. Like we were doing the live stream. Okay, not the last live stream, but the one before that. I sounded awful. I'm sure of it. And we were making Batman jokes the whole time. Like we're running around to the objectives, and you know, randomly, one of us, probably me, maybe one of the other guys, we would go, "Where's Rachel?" We'd be saying all this shit. And I don't know, have you guys ever seen the video? You have to tell me if you have, because it's just so damn funny. Okay, there's this video called Batman Can't Stop Thinking About Sex. And it is the funniest thing. Like, I love it so much. I've probably watched it 20, 30 times. I don't know. I tell every one of my friends about it. And you guys have to see this. You know what? I'm gonna link it in the description for you guys watching on YouTube, just so you can see what I'm talking about, because it is so glorious. It's on like one of the final scenes in The Dark Knight Rises. Like they're in that building, and I don't want to spoil anything. So if you haven't seen Dark Knight Rises and you care at all about what happens, stop the video now, because that's going to be the rest of the duration of the video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, so now that we've cleared the room, they're sitting there, and Talia just stabbed Batman, and Bane's on the ground, and now they're like, "Oh God, you're Talia," and like, he becomes such a perverted freak that all he's doing is just talking about sex, referencing sex, making sex jokes, and it is just too damn funny. Like, he's something about last words or something, and Batman goes, "Her last words were spit in my mouth." It's just too much. I can't handle it. It's too much. Even just thinking about it, I'll start laughing. Like, you guys got to see this thing. So I'll link that in the description, and that'll be that. So hopefully you guys will see that if you haven't already. That's going to be just about it for this episode of This Is Bullshit. It's good to be back. I know it's been a little bit. Like I said, the video's out later than I wanted. I'll be getting up another Battle Chat episode here, probably in the next week or so. I'll schedule it very soon, and we'll get that up to you. So in the description, I'm also going to link the direct download audio file for you guys that want to listen, like on your way to work or whatever. Put it on your iPod and just listen to me rant. So that'll be available in the description of the YouTube video as well. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me for the video. Leave anything you'd like to see as a comment, and we'll see you guys later. I'll see you on the battlefield. Take care.